Dragon Ball Super Episode 104, Goku and Hit team up against the Pride Troopers of Universe 11, and it's a pretty fucking awesome episode. Now, I did make a Super Saiyan God rant, specifically about Vegeta for the manga. This was a while ago. If you haven't seen it, I will be talking about some of the stuff I said in it, so maybe check out that video if you have time. But I did make a rant video talking about Super Saiyan God and it being an obsolete form, and why is it still in the manga, and why is Toyotaro still holding on to it, and I bitched about it, basically. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care that much. I don't really care about the manga. Though the manga did do something recently that really got under my skin as a Dragon Ball fan that I'll be talking about in a separate video, but, oh god. Oh man, Toyotaro, what the fuck, dude. But anyways, the manga, though, as far as I'm concerned, it sucks, and I don't like it, and I still read the chapters here and there. I don't read them right when they come out. I kind of like, oh, a chapter's out, maybe I'll wait for a couple and then read it. I think it's bad, but I don't lose sleep over it. But still, I made that video, and I will be addressing some of those points in this video, because I do think the anime handled this better, and I'll be explaining why. But before we get to that, let's talk about the rest of the episode. Let's just dive right into the technical aspects of the episode. Music. I don't usually start with music, so let's change things up. Really cool songs in this episode. They used a lot of really good soundtracks, and they also introduced a couple new ones, or at least one new one for sure. Maybe we've heard it before, actually. But it was when Dispo and Hit were fighting each other, and they dash towards each other, and it's towards the end of their fight where Hit fakes him out with a time skip, but doesn't actually do it and lands a blow to his gut. They used this really fucking cool song there that was, like, super badass. And, like, I really like that song. And a lot of the music in this episode was really good. So, Sumitomo, good job on the music. And whoever edited the music for this episode, also good job. The pacing of the episode was really solid, too. It's called a high-speed battle. Some translations even say a faster-than-light battle, which is kind of literal because Dispo, we'll get to that, craziness. But yeah, it's a fast episode with fast-paced fighting, and I really like that. There's not a lot of pausing. There is talking and explaining powers and explaining strategies, but at the same time, it's not slow, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a slow-paced episode. It feels quick, it feels fast, it feels snappy. I like that. In terms of story progression, we get the elimination of fucking whatever his name is, the Pride Trooper with the laser strings. He was useful, he did his job, he was fine, I just don't remember his name. He got eliminated. Not as much story progression as some other episodes, that's a little disappointing, but it does focus pretty much on this fight exclusively, so it does make sense. Either it was going to be him and Dispo, or just him, and I figured it'd be just him, and it was, so that makes sense. Now let's talk about the art and animation. The art in the episode is pretty damn consistent throughout. There's a couple of weird shots of Hit in there, and, you know, the art's never always 100% great in every single shot because it's, you know, an anime, and it's not by fucking Kyoto Animation, because have you seen the trailer for that new anime that I don't even know what it's called, but I saw the footage, and Jesus Christ. But anyways, a total fucking tangent, but that shit looks like a fucking movie, and I think it's going to be an anime. It's insane, but regardless, the art and animation of this episode is really, really solid. The animation's good, lots of highlights in the episode. I like the moment where Dispo punches Hit, but he misses and he breaks this big chunk of debris and like explodes into a bunch of smaller pieces, and then he actually jumps off of one of those pieces to continue following Hit. I like that. It conveys his speed very well. It's a cool moment. The animation's solid. I like the moment where they dash towards each other and they turn into blurs, and then Dispo knocks Hit into the air and he's like spiraling and then crashes into the ground. Lots of really cool cuts of animation. I like how they were using like this fade effect on Dispo when he was punching Hit. He was jumping all around him in a rotating shot, landing all of these punches, and Hit was blocking some of them and adapting, and the animation and the strategy of the episode really complemented each other and came together really nicely. And I guess that's a good segue into talking about the actual contents of the episode as far as the fighting goes. It's really good. As I mentioned, some really good choreography in there. I really like seeing Hit adapt to what Dispo is doing. He starts tricking him. He's like, I'm going to use a time skip, and he tenses up for it to lure Dispo in. But then he lands this gut punch, which was fucking epic. Like I said, music on point. Hit realizes that Dispo can't go faster than the speed of light. Yes, faster than the speed of light. Even though, when Dispo was introduced, he got caught by a tentacle monster that was kind of fodder, and that's a little bit questionable, you know. Whoops, by the writers there, but still, he can go faster than the speed of light. Massively, massively impressive. I think the first character in the series confirmed to be faster than the speed of light. confirmed to be faster than the speed of light in an actual movement speed sense. Obviously, instant transmission is instantaneous, and obviously Whis can use his staff or use his powers to, create like that weird, like, I don't know, it's almost like a Bifrost bridge thing, but not really, from Thor. He kind of like forms that like rainbow colored thing around him and Whis, and then they dart off. It's kind of like it's like a technique that allows him to move that quickly. This is the first character, I think, that can just straight up move faster than light in combat, but he cannot do it sequentially. He can't just continuously move that fast. He does it in bursts. Hit notices this, and that's why the little rope dude or little string dude is there to help out Dispo. Lots of good teamwork, lots of good strategy. I loved this episode. It was so much fun. It really felt like the big players are starting to fight, and strategy and teamwork is really starting to come into play. I mean, teamwork's always been really prominent in this arc so far, but the strategy hasn't been as prevalent, and I really liked that in this episode. Now let's talk about the red-haired elephant in the room, Goku using Super Saiyan God, my opinions on it, and why I'm going to try to make sure I don't sound like a hypocrite right now, because I'm not being hypocritical. At least I don't think I am. You can tell me what you think about that in the comments below. I think the anime handled this better. Now, I stand by what I said in my video about Vegeta and saying that this is an obsolete form that really isn't necessary to keep this form around. It feels like it's just fan service for people that like it, or to reference the manga or whatever. It really does feel like there's no point in keeping this form around other than fan service. With that being said, though, it does seem like the anime at least tried to give a little bit more justification to the form, whereas the manga, it's better for stamina. That's pretty much their excuse. It's better for stamina than Super Saiyan Blue. And in the case of the anime, Super Saiyan Blue does drain stamina, but it's not as bad of a drain, so Super Saiyan Blue is still the best alternative. However, in the anime, they say that Super Saiyan God is faster. Now, they don't outright say it's faster than Super Saiyan Blue, but what Whis says is it's faster than Super Saiyan, conserves more stamina than Super Saiyan Blue, and when he taps into Super Saiyan Blue when attacking in Super Saiyan God, Whis says he's maximizing his speed, Super Saiyan God, and maximizing his power, Super Saiyan Blue. That to me implies that Super Saiyan God is faster than Super Saiyan Blue, given the fact that he has a thinner physical build to him. It's a small difference, but I think it does justify the form a bit better than the manga. I still don't think the form is necessary to keep around, but if you're gonna keep it around, at least give some reason for Goku to use it, and they did. Now, the other thing I pointed out in that video is that it's a temporary form that went away with the Super Saiyan God ritual wearing off, and Super Saiyan Blue is how you tap into God Ki. Apparently that's just not the case. That's just not how it is. Like, we thought that's what it was, but that was never the case. He's had this form the entire time in the manga and the anime, so I can retract that as a criticism of the manga, and that's just how it is. Like, that's just the continuity. If you can swallow that pill, which I don't think it's that hard of a pill to swallow, unless you want to, like, nitpick when and where he could have used it in the past. I did actually do that in my recent discussion video, and I think he pretty much needed Super Saiyan Blue most of the times he used it, except for a few. But there was no reason to go Super Saiyan God in those scenes either, so yeah, whatever. So if you can swallow that pill, that Super Saiyan God has been a transformation that Goku has had this entire time, he just never used it, okay, fine. And then we also have the whole switching between Super Saiyan Blue thing, which I complained about in the manga. Oh, also just Vegeta had it, which I think is why. He didn't do the ritual, why would he have the form? Goku has it in the anime, that makes sense, he had the ritual done to him, so that also makes it better than the manga using it. Now, if the anime has Vegeta pull it out of his ass, that'd be a little bit questionable and a little bit weird, but we'll wait and see if they pull that out of their ass. Getting back to the switching between Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan Blue thing, in the manga it was established that when you transform into Super Saiyan Blue, turn it off and turn it back on, it's like a tenth as strong as it originally was because of a crippling, stupid nerf to the form that is just ridiculous. As far as I can tell, that's never been addressed again, other than it just doesn't affect them anymore, which I think is bad writing and doesn't really make sense. How do you train that? How do you get past a form that when you turn it on and then turn it off and then turn it back on, it's like a tenth as strong as it used to be? If that logic held true, none of his attacks against Goku Black should have even hurt. He was in Super Saiyan Blue, he switched to Red, switched to Blue, it should be a tenth as strong as it was before, right? And then he switches back to red and back to blue and back to red, and you get the point. It should be weaker each time. In fact, he probably shouldn't even be able to take on the form after doing that for a certain amount of time. The only way it makes sense is if they overcame that weakness, but I don't know when they would have done that, because the manga is so rushed, and that's not prevalent in the anime, him switching between red and blue, which he only does once anyway. It's not, the form doesn't drain you by transforming in the anime, so that alone makes the concept of doing that way better in the anime. I feel like this video is going to be really confusing, because if I at any moment accidentally said manga instead of anime, or anime instead of manga, that completely destroys my fucking, that accident, that slip up would completely destroy everything I was trying to explain just now. So hopefully I didn't make that mistake. I think you guys are smart enough to know what I was talking about, but still makes it very confusing. Super Saiyan God and manga and anime and Super Saiyan Blue and switching between Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan God and blah blah blah. I'm out of breath at this point, but the bottom line is I think the anime justified the form a little bit better. I think they handled the power drain and the whole 10% power thing a hell of a lot better than the manga, you know, it not existing and all that. And he only did it once. He didn't do it in succession. I just think, in general, the anime did this better than the manga. Because I like the concept of going from one form to the other, conserving your energy. I've actually used that in my own manga series. I'm not going to go into detail because of spoilers, but I actually used that strategy in my own series. So obviously I think it's a cool fucking strategy. I just think it was handled better in the anime than the manga, where the manga I don't think it made sense. I explained why, and if it was confusing, I apologize. But that's pretty much the episode. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great to amazing episode. Great strategy, great animation. Some reused in there, but they redrew it, so that's solid. Good music. Just an all-around really, really good episode. The only weakness, really, is that Super Saiyan God, being a form that he's had this entire time, is kind of a tough pill to swallow, depending on the kind of fan you are. And then, of course, only one elimination, which is kind of lacking in story progression, but still a really, really good episode. Love the conversation between Goku and Hit at the end of the episode. So cool. Just a really, really great episode. Also, I was right. I almost forgot to gloat a little bit that it was based on speed, why he was using Super Saiyan God. It was a speed, it was a strategy for speed. I was right about that. Just kidding about the gloating thing, but great prognosticator right here, Pet Platypus. But whatever, I'm just joking at this point. What'd you guys think of this episode of Dragon Ball Super? What'd you guys think about Goku bringing back the Super Saiyan God form? This will probably be very divisive among fans, so let me know what you guys think. Give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you see here. Click that little bell to get notifications when my videos go up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.